Okay, I'm back. Everybody, welcome back to the channel. I don't know if you saw the thumbnail, man. I'm sure you did, but yeah, man. Should you open carry? It's not like do you have the right. We know some states it's allowed to open carry. Second Amendment, all that kind of stuff. There's several states. There's a few states don't allow it. I know California doesn't allow it. You know, State with 40 million people. So when people travel out of California to other states like Arizona and Nevada got open carry, a lot of people in California be freaked out because they're not used to people actually open carry. They know people got guns, but they're not used to people open carry. So people live in states that open carry, they don't really trip off open carry. I can speak on that because when I worked in Wyoming for a few years, they have open carry and it was no big deal. Like I said, I said this story many times. We was in a bank and a dude walked in with a big ass revolver on his hip like it was no big deal. They're like, "Hey Bob, how you doing?" It's like, so yeah, some places open carry is not a big deal. I would think more like in a rural country area. I think when you get closer to metropolitan cities, open carry is going to make people feel uneasy. However, in the South, there's a lot of states that have open carry. And, some people do it. They do it in the urban sector. And, like I said, I was in, I don't know what state they were walking around with ARs and stuff. It's some states, the open carry is not a big deal. But the question here is, it's not about your right. Should you do it? Now, before we get started, I'm going to let everybody know, I'm going to go over some holsters and explain advantages and disadvantages and why some of these holsters exist and things of that nature so everybody can get a grasp for somebody who doesn't know. Now, with that being said, I'm not a pro, I'm not an expert. I just stuff that I learned up and picked up and watched and heard from people in professions that have more experience than I do on these topics, and I'm just trying to share it. So if someone wants to help this video out and drop some comments, something I might say wrong or something you can add to it, go for it. Like I said, I'm not an expert, so let's make that clear. Now, before we get started, I got a clip for you I want you to see where this happened in Nevada over just a couple of days ago. And, this is an open carry incident, and this is an open carry state. So check out this clip real quick. Stand by.
Police say was acting erratically inside the AutoZone store on East Charleston at Maryland Parkway, shoots and kills a man with the victim's own gun. Police say the victim exercised his lawful ability to open carry that firearm, which the suspect was somehow able to grab and then just started shooting. Good evening, and thank you for joining us at 6. I'm Latoya Silman.
And I'm Dana Wagner in for Jim tonight. So while we wait for Metro detectives to reveal more about what led to the shooting, many people are asking questions about Nevada's open carry law, especially those from states where it's against the law. News 3's Stu Wolford joins us live here in the studio to break it down. Steve?
Well, that's right. Believe it or not, 46 states allow the open carry of a firearm, meaning the weapon is in plain view. 31 of those states, including Nevada, allow open carry without a permit. For some, it's a matter of self-defense. Others say they're exercising their Second Amendment right to bear arms. So, yes, in Nevada, you can carry a gun in plain sight. But should you?
As I go to retail places, restaurants, could even be retail stores.
Jeff Margetta is an educated gun owner.
I see people open carry and they do not watch their surroundings at all.
But he's not always comfortable with what he sees.
So that's kind of a scary thought because someone could come up behind them, take their gun, and then they're liable for what happens.
While Metro has yet to reveal exactly how the suspect, 36-year-old Kyle Capucci, was able to use the victim's own pistol to kill him, firearms instructor Ken Ortega says what happened Friday is rare.
Steve, it's not very often. There are only 2 documented open carry homicides that have happened in recent years, so it's really more the anomaly.
Ortega says anyone who chooses to open carry responsibly needs a level 2 or level 3 retention holster, which prevents the pistol from being easily drawn by someone else.
You have the trigger guard, which is 1 level. You have some kind of a retention device that you have to defeat, and you'll have a third device that either you have to have a hood over the back of the gun, or sometimes there are some that you have to twist the gun out.
So where is open carry legal? In general, restaurants and bars with exceptions, in your car in plain view, state wildlife areas, and with exceptions, even places of worship. Open carry is illegal in schools, most public buildings, law enforcement offices, state courthouses and jails, and in safety zones at airports. Maggie Mordaunt with the Women's Defense Network says there are any number of reasons someone might want to open carry.
They may feel strongly about just maybe exercising their right. They may feel strongly that maybe they can't get a concealed carry. Maybe they had a DUI. Maybe they had something that didn't even allow them to qualify for a concealed carry weapons license in the state of Nevada.
So yes, you can open carry.
Okay, you saw that. So yeah, that's at the AutoZone, man. So man, you know, and see the dude walked up and snatched his gun out of his back pocket and used it against him. Now for me, I'm not gonna sit here and go crazy like the reporter. The one guy was like, "Oh, well, I'm anti-open carry," and people say don't do it. I mean, you can do what you want, but the one guy made the best point. Situational awareness. He said, "I've been in places where people don't be aware with their gun on their hip," and like I said, one of the main reasons why I carry the position I carry is because I like the firearm in front of me. Now, everybody's body is different. People carry different size guns and all kind of other sorts of things is why people will carry a concealed firearm in certain positions. But we're talking open carry. Me personally, this is to get this on record. I am not an open carry person. If I lived in a country and had a ranch with my property, no trespassing, you will be laid out, all that kind of stuff, acres and acres of land. I'm riding quads or a horse or whatever it may be. Then I probably would open carry because I'm probably open carry not for two-legged critters. I'm probably open carry for four-legged critters. So, yeah, it would make sense in certain scenarios like that. If you're in the back country and stuff, yeah, you don't want to have your gun tucked away. You need to have that thing out. Mostly, a lot of cats in Alaska where they wear the chest rigs. You know, when they're out there in their quads hunting and whatever, having fun and going through the backwoods, they have it on their chest rig so they can grab it right there, neck high, boom, pull it right out. So yeah, I get the whole open carry, but in the urban sector, yeah, I don't know about that one, man. But hey, to each his own. But you saw what they were saying. The instructor said it's not often that this happens, and that's true. It probably is not often. But I would have to say to the range instructor, but what if the one time it happens, the guy takes the good guy's gun, or and then uses it against innocent civilians that's in that same proximity. Now you can't play the percentage game no more because someone lost their life, right? So I don't know. And then you didn't see the bottom half of his report where the guy was saying that all the gun instructors and law enforcement people say they strongly suggest against open carry unless you've been training or went to some classes and things of that nature. Otherwise, they're against it. But that's coming from law enforcement. If they had it their way, I keep telling you this, man. Most people that are in law enforcement are not pro 2A. They're pro 2A for them and their families to have guns, but they're not pro 2A for every single citizen in America that has a right to own a gun, to have a gun. Trust me on that. Law enforcement is not pro 2A. Not all of them. That's for damn sure. Because for them, they're afraid when they go out in public and have to make traffic stops and do different things. So they don't want a person to have a gun. So they're not absolutely 100% pro 2A. They down for it to a certain degree though. So let me get back on topic. So again, this is reckless behavior, and there's a lot of YouTubes coming out with people getting their guns snatched, used against them, and that's a big problem, man. So I agree, situational awareness. If you're going to be in a really like a metropolitan area or a state that allows you, but you're in a community that has thousands and thousands of people, and you at malls and you open carry and all that kind of stuff, you might want to be really, really aware of the situation. So what I got a few holsters we're gonna go over, and we're gonna go over level 1, level 2, and all that kind of level 3 stuff. But let's go with outside waistband holster, and I'm gonna pick a holster that this guy probably could have had. Let's take this holster right here. It's a inside waistband holster, but if you put a firearm in it, you could wear it. You can still have your shirt over the top of it, so to speak. And I think a lot of people who carry open carry, they're carrying like this with no retention system or nothing, and so it's nothing to stop the gun from coming out. So just let you know, all these weapons that you will see are clear, no ammunition, nothing in the barrel, no magazine. And so what they're doing is they're walking around carrying it like this on their hip with their shirt. And, bad guy comes moseying around, and come up behind you and just bam. And they're probably carrying it 3 o'clock if they're left-handed. This is a right-hand holster, as you can tell. And the reason why I have this, because I practice offhand drawing. So I bought a little cheap holster. This is by Gunflower. And, so I can practice offhand drawing. But anyway, my point is, so this is a right hand holster. So you imagine this is on someone's right hip at that. So what is that? 3 o'clock. He's over bending over against some Doritos in the chip aisle at the gas station, and somebody comes right behind him and bam, takes his gun right out because there's nothing stopping the firearm. There's no retention at all. The only thing with this one is a level 1. I think I would consider as a level 1 is because it covers the trigger guard. That's it. There's no other levels to this holster at all. There's nothing to stop someone, and that's why even if you had a shirt on you. I mean, you had this over a shirt to conceal, so to speak, outside waistband concealed. But this would, for the conversation, we'll say this is an outside waistband, and the guy has his shirt open, exposed. Even at 9 o'clock, or was that during at 6 o'clock, he can still come behind the small of your back and then take that from you if they can see it. You bend over and your shirt rises up, you can still see that. And so, yeah, these are terrible for outside waistband. If you're carrying outside waistband, don't carry something like this. Okay, now let's go to another style of holster that people wear sometimes, outside waistband. We're going to consider it outside waistband, but it's inside waistband, but they got their shirt exposed. So this is kind of like a paddle holster, and this is by Alien Gear. And these are kind of popular too, because what happens is you can wear these and then it'll flex on your 3 o'clock or your 9 o'clock or something like that, and you could wear it probably even 6 o'clock if you wanted to. So, but again, this holster, people wear these a lot, and they'll have these on their hip, and this is a left-hand one, and they'll have this on their hip, but they don't have no retention. So again, going back to using this for example. So let's say you got this on your hip, and you got it just like that with your shirt exposed. Someone can just walk up right behind you and just snatch that right out. It's nothing to stop it. This is a level 1 again. It just has a trigger guard cover. That's it. That's the only thing. It's safe, but it's unsafe if you have it exposed as a outside waistband holster. It would have to be tucked, and that's going to make it harder to draw. And that's why people who wear these type of holsters, they have their shirt over the top of it because they know it's a hard drill to practice to have this type of holster on 3, 6 o'clock or 3, 6 or 9 o'clock and pull your shirt up and grab it and get going. You'd have to take a lot of practice. And this is people don't practice a lot. So they just try to be lazy and cut through the work and just have their shirt over the top of it. So this is another terrible holster to buy for outside waistband, in my opinion. So let's keep it going. So these two I will certainly not suggest for outside waistband, but however, they could be used for inside waistband, and then you'll be fine again. But again, if you're wearing tight clothing or something like that, and someone's going to see your gun at 3, 6, or 9 o'clock, they're going to see it because you're not wearing this appendix. Neither one of these you're going to wear appendix. You probably could wear this one appendix. You could, but that's going to be jabbing in you right there. So you might as well buy a better appendix holster. But again, outside carrying is for people who don't want to really carry appendix, for sure. Guarantee that. They don't want to carry appendix. Outside waistband holster carriers, they don't want to carry appendix. So just keep that in mind. Now, let me show you what you could wear if you wanted the outside waistband, which will give you much more security and would definitely lower the opportunity of someone snatching their gun out of your hand. And I'm going to show you a couple holsters that I have that would fit that need. By the way, I'm not suggesting buying any of these holsters. I'm just telling you, just in case somebody was curious and wanted to see the differences of holsters and what the functionality, how they work, and what would be a good option. That's all I'm doing. I'm not selling anything. You ain't have to buy none of this crap. So now, let's say I was going to carry outside waistband. Well, I ain't going to say me. Let's just say if you were, one of the holsters that I would suggest, I would start off with at least a level 2 retention holster. And so something like this Safari Land right here. And what makes it level 2? You have two levels of retention. You're gonna have 2 things working your way. The trigger guard's covered, right? And so what you got there, and then you have the automatic locking system right here. So this right here is a little lever that has to be depressed to, it don't take much when it's on your body, believe it or not, but if you come up from behind me, it's not gonna work because you have to push this and pull at the same time. And that's what makes this level 2. And so your gun goes in, boom, like that. And so it's not gonna come out. Even if you got in a tussle and you were wrestling around with someone, level 2 ALS locking system is not coming out. And so a person, if they came behind you, thought they were gonna be slick and grabbed it, it's not gonna come out. And that's enough time for you to react and hit them or push them off of you and make your next decision, because you would have to go like this, all in one motion. So if you hit that and you didn't pull the gun, it ain't gonna come out unless you were upside down, like that, in which you're not upside down. So that's the good thing about this. You would have to hit that button at the same time to get that gun out of there. Okay, so that's the beauty of a level 2 holster like this. Well, level 1, I would say, it could be a level 2, but I think level 2, you have to have something else. We'll get into level 2 in just a second, but this is more like a level 1 holster. I was just saying level 1 in the sense that it's covering the trigger guard, but it's not no retention stopping the gun from coming out. So let's make sure I clear that up. These are probably not level 1 holsters, but they are safe holsters because they do cover the trigger guard. And that's all a holster company really, in my opinion, is responsible for, is making sure they create a holster that covers your trigger guard. After that, you get into duty holsters, which this is considered a duty holster. And when I think you're carrying outside waistband, I think you should have a duty holster. Bottom line, you should have a duty holster. You shouldn't be running around with stuff like this and like that. You should have a duty holster. So this is a way you could carry also. And let me show you another way you can carry outside waistband, because remember, it's outside waistband. So what you can do is buy a mid-ride plate. This is not a drop leg, and we'll get into a drop leg in a minute, but this is a mid-ride. So it rides mid-height to your belt, right to your belt line. This is where this rides at. It doesn't ride up here, doesn't ride down here, it rides right there at your hip line. Your belt runs right through there. So that's a mid-ride. And these are great because you can run a leg strap through there. Because remember, it's outside waistband carry. Who cares? Have a leg strap. I would. And then you can get the fork plate system. Here's the plate, and here's the fork, and then you can run that up in there like this. You can run that up in there like this, just like that. Now you have this on here. Now all this is just going to keep the holster from moving, the leg strap. It's not going to have any stopping the gun from coming out, but it gives you more sturdiness on your body. And if someone sees you outside carrying like this, they're more likely not going to fuck with you, because you're already showing that you have a level 2 holster, and it's right there on your hip, and there's no way they're going to get that close, because you're almost saying that I'm aware of my surroundings when you have a system like this as an outside waistband carry setup. This screams that I know what I'm doing. Having some shit like this outside your waistband, bend over getting some Cheetos at the liquor store, this shows that you don't know shit about guns, okay? And then this is just gonna say that you're just lazy. This screams laziness, outside waistband carrying. You want comfortability, but you want everybody to see you got a gun, but it's no retention. So this is lazy, and this is stupid and reckless. This screams, I know what the fuck I'm doing, even if you don't. They're gonna still stop and say, damn, that man got a whole leg strap and everything, you know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. This is something that you would want to look into, okay? And even if you didn't want to do the plate fork system, that's fine and dandy. And the leg strap, that's fine. Just go ahead and get the holster and run it on your belt, a regular leather belt if you don't want to spend any money, and you still got level 2 retention, okay? So now, let's go to the next holster to discuss, and that is, let's discuss a drop leg system. If you were going to outside waistband, open carry. So this is a drop leg. Now, this is my old drop leg system I had. I still got it. The only difference is I took the straps off. You go on one of them, and then the other one's on that holster. I just don't got the straps anymore, but you can buy these straps anywhere. Just that I never get it. When I was running and gunning in California, I was using this a lot, but then I started coaching heavily, and I couldn't get back out there to Alpine to run and gun no more. So I just tore it all apart and just created 2 holsters off the 2 leg straps. But this is by Aeromax, and this is a great retention lockup system right here. All my holsters run off Glock 19s and Glock 23s, by the way. So this one goes in, and this has that level 2 retention. It's not going to come out. This is made for running and gunning. This is a drop leg holster. It's made for running and gunning, jumping and running and crawling. So it ain't going to come out. It has a paddle lock system where you hit the paddle, then it comes out. See that? Hit that paddle and it comes out. But if you hit the paddle, it ain't going to move unless you dump it like that. See? So even if they can't run up behind you with this system, they're not going to get the gun out because they got to hit the paddle at the same time. And if you're wearing that drop leg, this is totally duty level type shit, this screams, oh, he knows what he's doing, or she knows what she's doing. If you're wearing a drop leg going to the target, yeah, ain't nobody gonna come messing with you with this system on your body, okay? Again, it's not gonna stop. You gotta still have that level 2 system. The leg drop don't have nothing to do with the retention. It's all in the holster. And this is a very inexpensive drop leg system, and it's fully functional, and it's light, and it's all, like I said, it's ready to go. And this is another one that's not optic ready. Oh yeah, I guess it is optic ready, but it's not. It doesn't hold a light. So that's the drop leg system. So now we went over that. Those systems. So now we have the level 2 duty holster. And what goes on here is the same thing goes on here, except for a hood. And this is considered a hood. And what that does is lock the gun. They give you 2 levels of security of retention, keeping your gun stable. You got 1 with the ALS system, and then you got 2 with the hood. So that goes in like that. You pop the hood up, and now you got 2 levels of retention. So you got the locking system in the back there, and then you have the hood. So there's no way they're gonna come up behind you and snatch your gun off your hip on an outside waistband carry system like that. You wouldn't have to carry a whole battle belt. You can just get a regular belt, run that plate system through there, or you can just get the regular system of the regular plate that comes with it and just run a regular leather belt through it. And this could be an outside waistband holster, and you can carry a light and an optic on your outside waistband. And you got level 2 retention. So you would have to hit the button at the same time and push up and go. And I got it locked down a little heavier. You can make it lighter, but if you had more retention on it, they would have to actually come pull it kind of hard to get it out. So that's what's great about a level 2 duty holster. Now, they do have level 3s, and level 3s is with this system, that system, but also you have to do 2 things at the same time. And one of them usually is depressing the ALS system to drop the hood. So it'll go like this. Now that drops you down to level 2 because you still got the locking system, but then there is another thing you have to do, and then you hit that, and then that releases it, and that's what makes it level 3. So the level 3s are really, really like super military, law enforcement, SWAT, and all that. So, but that's a basic level 2, and that'll get the job done. And this is a really good domesticated civilian level 2 because you got the ALS, because most people probably wouldn't need the hood in an average day carry, roaming about. But without this system right here, you're just basically buying some crap like this, or some crap like this for outside waistband carry, and that's super dangerous. So just get stuff like this out of your mind if you're going to outside waistband carry, and get your mind set on stuff like this or like this. Because remember, you're doing outside waistband, so you might as well go all the way in and get you a real level 2 holster with ALS locking systems. This is just like that, but just a paddle system. So it's still an anti-locking system, automatic locking system. So I would suggest go that route if you're going to go outside. Well, I wouldn't really suggest outside waistband carrying, but you can do what you want, man. As long as you got your situational awareness, you'll be fine. You just got to know your surroundings and know what's going on around you. Now me, I carry pretty much appendix carry, so a lot of this stuff is irrelevant to me. I don't have no issues because the position I carry, the only way someone's gonna get my gun from me, if they grab me from behind, wrap me up in a bear hug, feel my stomach area, reach in my pants, grab my gun out, and then they can get my gun. Even if I say hands up, they go hands up. I put my hands up, you still don't see my gun, because most people carry on their hips, and that's where the bad guys start to look to search you. There's been stories where guys been searched by the police, not just a regular person, by the police, and they didn't know they had a gun on because they had it stuffed down in an appendix. So that's a fact. So that's why I carry appendix, because I like the firearm in front of me. I just, even if I bend over, reach over for something from groceries in the aisle or doing whatever, my gun is right in front of me. I know exactly where it's at. And so that's why I like appendix carry. And that's why I carry in that position, you know, and it's just really the most safest way to carry a firearm. Concealed, for sure. We're talking about open carry, but concealed carry is a much safer way to carry, in my opinion. And appendix carry is the safest way to carry appendix, in my opinion. But just everybody can't do it, so I'm not mad at them. But as long as you conceal carrying, you're doing you're a smarter person than a person carrying outside waistband. Even though it's your right, and your state might say you can do it, but if you get into a metro area and around a bunch of people, outside waistband open carry is just not a smart move, man. So I just want to drop in on that video, come in, let everybody see a couple holsters, explain a few holsters to everybody, let you see the differences of all these holsters, and you know, it's just something to think about when it comes to carrying, because I see people out there reckless, open carrying with stuff like this is just, man, that's gonna get you done up, man, for real. And then, like I said, you could always carry a leg drop with you for more security, but you really just need this on a belt. You can get you a nice little concealed carry belt or a regular leather belt, and just have your firearm in there, and this will be suffice enough for you to keep you safe in a open carry situation. But again, I'm an appendix inside the waistband, a concealed carrier, and I just like that concept, man. I know it's a pretty long video, but I just want to do that because, you know, maybe this could save someone's life, because you have to buy the product that's going to keep you safe while carrying. You just can't be carrying and not have a safe holster system set up in case something goes bad, man. Because, you know, you never know. Like, people are snatching people's guns off their bodies now. They did it to a Detroit cop. I remember T Electric said, shout out T Electric. There was a video he did where that cop was in full uniform and tried to take his gun. So, and that's with a level 2 or level 3 duty holster. So don't think it can't happen to you, man. So be careful with that open carry. Anyway, man, it's your boy Eyes and Ears Tactical, man. Drop some comments in here. Drop some knowledge. If you guys know some solutions, I just think these are bad solutions for open carry, and I think these are better solutions for inside waistband carry and concealed carry. All right, man. Everybody stay safe. Peace.